Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to the big show. It's your pal Bruce here, traveling with Bruce. Look at that. I'm gonna get the sign in there. There we are, traveling with Bruce, alive and well from Calgary, Alberta. How are you? Welcome to the show, and welcome to the channel. It's great to be back with you guys. Jennifer and I have returned back to Calgary. After having that humongous meal at Carmine's in New York with some of you folks. We're good. What a meal that was. Thank you for waiting for us to get back. I got videos to still upload. I got to tell you, we one sign that you're getting old is how long it takes you to adjust to time zone changes. And I'll tell you, this trip that Jennifer and I put together, that we just finished, leaving Calgary, going to New York and getting on the Queen Mary 2, going to England, and staying on the ship for a 12-day Scottish Isle cruise, and then doing Europe for a month and a bit, and then taking the Queen Mary back to New York. The thinking we had was, just flying from New York back to here, we thought there was only a 2-hour problem. We would only have 2-hour time change problems to deal with, because from Calgary to New York, it's only 2 hours. And that's not very hard to adjust to, I mean, really. And then from New York to Southampton, you're going across the North Atlantic, but it takes you, 7 days to do the cruise, and you have 5 hours of time changes over a week, and it's 1 hour a day when you're at sea. So, how hard can that be? And then when we got to the United Kingdom, to Southampton, we stayed on the ship for 12 more days, and we didn't have a time change around the United Kingdom. We just stayed in the same time zone. So really, Jennifer and I had 19 days to adjust from New York time to London, England time, because after we got off the ship, we stayed 2 weeks in London. And then we went to Switzerland, which is 1 hour time change from London to the continent, but we were there for 16 days or something like that. And then we went to Hamburg for 4 days, and then got on the Queen Mary 2 to come back. And the first hour was done in 3 days. We had 3 days to adjust the first hour, and then we had 5 hours to adjust over 7 more days. You'd think that this wouldn't be a problem. I tell you, this weekend, I did nothing. I was so tired this weekend. I think it's the de-stressing of getting back. And keep in mind, though, that you might think, well, all you and Jen did was you did a 10-week holiday. It was a holiday for you. How come you're having such a problem with sleep and time zone adjustments? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because of you people, you viewers. Because I'm working. I'm still working on board the cruise ship, and I'm working in London, I'm working in Switzerland, and I'm working in Hamburg, and on the ship on the way back. I'm on the air every day with my other channel 5 days a week, and so I'm constantly actually wondering, what time is it at home? What time is it in New York? What time is it where we are? And so it was a bit of a juggling act the entire time, but it's nice to be back. We're settling into mountain time. We just adjusted our clocks, obviously, on Saturday night, falling 1 hour back like everyone else, pretty well everyone else. And here we are. Welcome all to the show with your buddy Bruce. And Jen is alive and well. She's in the living room right now. She's watching the pre-show for NFL football, Kansas City Chiefs. So she's happily occupied, but passes on her kindest and sincerest regards to all of you, no matter where you are. And so thank you for joining me tonight. It's great to see you here on Traveling with Bruce. What a trip. As I say, we had a wonderful time. We left New York under the most incredible, wonderful conditions. Take a look at this and see if I can get this to pop up for you. This was New York City on departure day. This was Friday, probably August the 23rd. And I'm just on the deck the promenade deck, and we're in Brooklyn here. We're still docked. We're a few hours from leaving. What a gorgeous day we had in New York. Gorgeous time the entire time we were in New York. Beautiful, clear, fairly clear skies, 75, 78 degrees. This is a Friday afternoon, around 4 in the afternoon, and New Yorkers are getting out of Manhattan for the weekend to enjoy late summer getaway weekend. Look at the trees, all green here on Governor's Island. New Jersey across the way over there, and that little pointy thing, I'm going to zero in on the Statue of Liberty. There she is, right over there, right nearby Ellis Island. There's the Statue of Liberty. What a great view from this ship, this area. Perfect day, light winds, calm seas. The bay, of course, the harbor is always calm. It was very nice. And you see these folks out here just hanging out, going out here and enjoying themselves on these loungers. This is pre-departure from New York. And I tell you, it was absolutely wonderful. The next day, I think it was a day or two later, I did this videotape here. See if this works. Uh-oh, did I screw myself up on this? I sure hope I didn't. Hope this worked. I may have just lost myself on it. I hope not. Just 1 second here. I should be able to get this back. No, there it is. There it goes. This was the first or second day out at sea. Look at this. This is the North Atlantic. Jen and I are asking ourselves. This is what we need an ocean liner to go through this. I didn't mind this kind of weather. I'll tell you that. It was absolutely beautiful. I walked all around the ship countless times and filmed it. This is looking back to New York, actually. This is looking behind us, and you can see we're hardly even making any waves in the water. Just a fantastic, beautiful skies. We had like 4 or 5 of the 7 days in a row like this, just like this. We felt no movement at all. And we're moving along at, once we got up to speed, we're going 22 to 24 knots. So that's 25, 27 miles an hour on the ship. We're just rolling along. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, the Queen Mary 2 is well worth your while to enjoy. Now here, let's see if I can get this one to pop up. See if this will add to stage. Okay, this should work. Okay, this is Cork, Ireland. We went to see Donnell, and we promised Donnell that we would catch up with him. And this was coming in at about 6 in the morning. Jen was up. That is our balcony. She is pointing her camera right out the balcony, the sheltered balcony area there. We're on the 6th deck. And this is the picture. It's like watching a TV screen. I mean, it's just unbelievable. We can walk out there, of course, and hang over the balcony and look out. Fantastic. What a beautiful sight this was. Gorgeous port and beautiful town. And oh my gosh, it was really something to enjoy. And of course, we did keep our promise with Donnell. We caught up with him. Here we are. This is me, he and I sitting together. We were just at a restaurant right beside the ship. You can see the ship in the background, the Queen Mary 2 behind us, and we had lunch with him and enjoyed his company. He's wearing that beautiful shirt with the beautiful logo on it. As a matter of fact, speaking of the logos, I should really change the logo on our show here. Let me just do that there in the upper right. There we go. There's the logo. Donnell was wearing the shirt, and we had a wonderful visit with him, talking about his days and comparing notes. It was great to finally get together with Donnell after all these years of talking to him here on the live show. Just fantastic. Here's an image that I took off the 7th deck again, the promenade deck of Cork. We're docked, and at the very bottom you see a couple of walkways that come off the ship. There's one there, and there's one way up at the front. A couple of buses are waiting to take people on tours. There's a train station here as well. And then in the background, you can see the steeple of the church way back there. And it was a beautiful day, and it was just a great time. We really enjoyed visiting him. This was the morning, the next morning after New York. I just want to come back to that. I woke up. We are now, 12 hours out of New York City, and I'm taking a photo of the Atlantic Ocean, and there isn't a wave anywhere. It was just amazing. I can't say the same for the way back. The way back was a roller, and I didn't do any video. I think Jen did a little bit of video taking, but I didn't. But I survived it intact, although there were some days where it was a little iffy. After we left England, we went to Switzerland, and we ended up in the resort town of Zermatt. Here is a shot of Zermatt and the Matterhorn mountain. That is one of the most photographed mountains in all the world. And you can tell snow is starting to come down in elevation. The Matterhorn has almost always got snow on it, but to the left of the Matterhorn is a pointy little mountain. They call that the Little Matterhorn, or the Kleine Matterhorn, and even it has got snow on it, and that is at about, I think, 7,000 or 8,000 feet elevation. So the snow was slowly coming down to us, but you'll notice on the ground here, there's some of the buildings, and then on the right side of the photo, there's a little brown alpine-looking building. If you go below that, you'll see some bushy kind of plants there with green leaves on them. They haven't fallen, they haven't turned. So this area is still summertime. And we were here very early in October, late September and first 2 weeks of October. But this actually is not even the touristy part of Zermatt. This is more of where locals live and where they play. There's tennis courts in front of us there. This is a shot from our hotel, resort hotel. Below you on the bottom, there's a therapy spa pool. That is a warm water pool with jets for your back and your ankles and your calves and your lower back and your shoulders. And they have all kinds of buttons for all kinds of treatment jets. There's another pool down there that's even warmer that I loved. But in between where that pine tree is in front of you there, behind it, there's the Matterhorn is back there, but you can't see it. But here you go. There's a shot later in the same day where the clouds cleared out, and that's our shot there of the mountain. Absolutely incredible. So it was enjoyed. We enjoyed it very much. This is a sunset shot. Getting into the evening, it's just a stunning mountain to do. For Jen and I, Zermatt was really kind of a place to shut down. I used Zermatt as a recovery area to just unwind. But I still did my other channel. But on weekends, I did nothing and just wanted to rest and enjoy that area and just get some time off. But great trip, and we finished it off by coming to New York City and ending our vacation with a 4-day stay in New York. And let me see if I can find the photo. Is there a photo I can grab here? I got to double check. We did the get together. In Carmine's, and here's one shot that I'm going to be able to show you. So bear with me here while I get this together. This is a shot of Carmine's from Auntie Jen's camera, and at the very end of the table, the gentleman there with the bald head, that's Tom Henry. I think he's taking a photo, and across from him is Kirk Brunson. and his family, and I'm showing something to one of my viewers from Stock Markets with Bruce on my phone. I'm probably showing off the Matterhorn. And right in front of you here is Lisa and her dad. They're viewers of my other channel. Lisa has a company called Flint Creek Soap Company, and she brought samples of her soaps for everybody. And the food here in the middle of the table, oh my God. They brought these gigantic dishes of plates of food, and I think they brought 4 of each variety to the table. So right in front of you with the tomato sauce, see, look at that's shrimp there. And then the next one is the saltimbocca, which is chicken with a slice of smoked ham and then cheese on top, all on a bed of spinach and gravy. Oh my God. And just behind that are these gigantic slices of garlic toast. Oh my goodness. And we had Caesar salad. We also had plates of spaghetti and meatballs and penna vodka, was it? Penna vodka. Oh my gosh. And then dessert, we had tiramisu chocolate cake. No one left hungry. As a matter of fact, everyone left that restaurant with a doggy bag except Jen and I, because we're going to a hotel. We can't take a doggy bag with us. But all the folks who came in to see us, they all left with doggy bags. We couldn't eat it all. There was so much food. It was just incredible. And it was a wonderful meet and greet. It was a real opportunity to see everybody. And those who came out, it was a wonderful time. Thank you for joining me tonight. Shady Hill Homestead, welcome home, Bruce. Thank you. Robert is in the house. Hello, Bruce. And Auntie Jen, welcome back with traveling from Bruce. Thank you, Robert. Kirk Brunson, hi, Bruce TWB family. Kirk in New York City is here. I'm at work tonight. Right on, buddy. Sharon is here. Hi, Bruce. It's nice to have you back. Sharon was at the dinner with the author himself, Kevin. Love to Jen. Thank you. Tom Kaufman is saying hi. Shane, after everyone just got back from 7 days on Wonder of the Seas. Welcome back. Kirk Brunson, great time at the meet and greet in Carmine's in New York City. Tom Henry, hello, everybody. Oops, forgot it was TWB time. Right on, Tom. Nice to have you. Kevin, the author himself, is here. Hi, Uncle Bruce. We finished the leftovers from Carmine's over the weekend. So good. Oh, man, that was a feast. That was a feast. Tom Henry, I found out today Cindy's sister and husband are celebrating a big anniversary by going on their first cruise, flying to the UK to take the Queen Mary 2 back to New York. Must be a good package, air and hotels via Cunard, and flying business class on British Airways. Now that is wonderful, Tom. That is a wonderful deal. Sharon, I'm not a big Caesar salad fan in general, but that was a great salad. Sharon, our son also enjoyed sharing the leftovers. There you go. It's just like being there. Yes, that was a very good time. That was wonderful. Excellent service. The place was packed. I would imagine they had 150 to 200 people in that place, and I could be too conservative on that. But it felt like every 5 minutes, the wait staff, like 5 or 10 of the waiters, would gather around a table somewhere in the restaurant. Every 5 minutes, they were singing happy birthday to somebody else. It was like there must have been 10 birthdays being celebrated in the 2 hours that we were there. It was insane. Every 10, 15 minutes, happy birthday to you. Oh, my goodness. And it was packed. This Carmine's restaurant is in the heart of the theater district. So we're surrounded by all the theaters. Across the street, The Lion King is playing. So a lot of folks come into Carmine's before the play to have a lunch, then go and see a play. And then you've got that's the matinee. Then you have the evening crowd coming in pre-play and post-play. So Carmine's is just hopping on a Saturday. I mean, it was just insanity. Mondays it might be quieter. I'm assuming they're open Mondays, but Mondays it might be quieter because usually Mondays are dark on Broadway. But still, you needed a reservation to pretty well get in there unless you wanted to sit at the bar. Unbelievable. We really had a great time. That was a fabulous day to get together with people and to catch up with viewers from this channel and viewers from Stock Markets with Bruce. It was a wonderful time. As far as news goes, cruise news, I have one piece of news today, which actually is a pretty big announcement from Royal Caribbean. They announced that they have concluded and negotiated the buyout and takeover of the port of Costa Maya in Mexico. They are buying the port of Costa Maya. $292 million with a bunch of land just nearby. They are going to create Perfect Day in Mexico at Costa Maya with the port facilities that are already there. Now, I don't know what this means for the other cruise lines. I don't know what's going to happen there. It's possible they can use the port and they'll just pay a fee to Royal Caribbean, which they would have paid to the Mexican government. I'm not sure. But $292 million is being dropped by Royal Caribbean to acquire this property. And then they're going to build water parks. They're going to build pools. They're going to develop the beach in that area. They're going to put restaurants and bars in there as well. So they're trying to continue to expand their facilities in the Caribbean, so that when you get on a ship out of Miami and you take a 5-day cruise or a 7-day cruise or whatever length of cruise you're on, you could end up only going to Royal Caribbean properties for your entire cruise, which is an interesting thing to think about, in that it used to be you could only go to Coco Key, or you could go to to their property in Haiti. But now, with Coco Key, Cozumel, Nassau, and Coco Key, and this one, you're talking now 4 distinctive properties, 4 distinctive places they can take you to their own property. And in theory, between Sea Days and Perfect Day at Coco Key, the Perfect Day in Mexico, the Perfect Day in Nassau, you won't step foot in any area other than Royal Caribbean property, which means for families with children, this is a big deal. If you're a family of 3, 4, 5, mom and dad and 2, 3, 4 kids, you are going to be interested in these cruises. This is going to work for you, because you can put these kids and yourself on a gigantic cruise ship with all the activities on the cruise ship, from water slides to rock climbing walls to wave runners and bumper cars and skating rinks, and depending on the ship you're on, endless food possibilities, endless entertainment on board the ships, and gambling, of course, and shows. And now during the daytime, you're going to come into Coco Key, send the kids to the water park, and off they go. Mom and dad grab a cabana in the adult-only area, perhaps. Nassau, you don't have to worry about hanging out on just the ship anymore. Once they open up Nassau, that's on Paradise Island, you're going to be able, I think you'll be able to tender right across to it. I'm not sure how they're going to get you there, if they're going to bus you over or whatever. You spend the day at a beachfront property that Royal Caribbean controls, with security, no panhandlers. Pretty good improvement for Nassau. Cozumel, same thing. You're going to go to the Royal Caribbean property at Cozumel. Now, our friends at Carnival are doing a deal in the Bahamas, in Freeport, just off of Freeport. They're building their own port, their own docking facility for their own on-land experience within Carnival property. So this is being done here by these cruise lines, bit by bit by bit. But Royal Caribbean is definitely in the lead when it comes to now Mexico, with 2 properties, Nassau and Coco Key there, and Haiti. That's 5 separate resort-type properties that Royal Caribbean can offer for their fleet for the Caribbean. This is smart. This is the future of cruising for these guys. I see where they're going with this. How many times has it happened that cruisers go on a cruise line, they go to a port of call that might be sketchy. They don't take a tour. They just walk around town a little bit, and some folks get into trouble. If you're on an organized tour, you shouldn't get into trouble. But how many times have I reported over the years when I used to do daily reports for you guys? How many times did I do daily reports 5-6 years ago where a tour bus got into an accident on the roadway and there were fatalities and injuries, nightmares? Where here, you're taking the passengers right to your property virtually within a mile, if that. I mean, Coco Key, you walk off the ship onto the pier, you're there. You're on the resort. There's no traffic. There are no cars. There's nothing to worry about. You're not going to miss the ship coming back and getting off the island. They know you're there because you're missing on the Passenger Fest manifest. Same thing with these other properties like Haiti and others. So this is a smart move by Royal Caribbean. It also means the Royal Caribbean keeps all the spending that you do. It's now all Royal Caribbean spending. There are no third parties that are going to get in the middle of you and the cruise line, theoretically. Very interesting pattern. Now, here, Jen and I just came off the Cunard Queen Mary 2, and this is old school sailing. This is old school. New York to Southampton, Southampton or Hamburg, Le Havre, back to New York. Scheduled services across the Atlantic, the only cruise line that does it. This is definitely old school, and boy, I'll tell you, there is a market for old school sailing. There really is. I would not be surprised if Cunard or another cruise line were to offer transatlantic services from New York to Rome, New York to Barcelona, New York to Southampton, that there would be clientele that would do it, and the ship would be full. I think it would fly. I think it would work. In today's modern cruise ocean liner, like Queen Mary type ships, these ships make nothing but money. I think if you can bring out a quality ship like a Queen Mary with twin stabilizers, I think they would make money doing the transatlantic servicing. I can see money being made between Tokyo and San Francisco. And I don't know if you can make a go of it on a consistent basis between Australia and the U.S., which would include Fiji and maybe Vanuatu and New Caledonia and some other stops. I don't know about that, but I think the high traffic market between New York City and the UK and ultimately the Mediterranean, I think it would work. I think cruise lines could make money offering this kind of service. We all know we can fly. We all can fly from New York to London. It's not a thing about speed. That's not the point. The point of sailing across the Atlantic is to unwind. Now, the miracle of it for me, and for Jen and I, but for me in particular, is I'm a digital nomad. I'm a guy that's working no matter where I am. And here I am on board the Queen Mary 2 doing live shows every day, reliably doing live shows. That was the shocker, the pleasant surprise for Jen and I, that we had high speed, top quality internet at our beck and call if we wanted. Now, it's not cheap. It's not like, oh, this is a great discount way to go across the ocean. It's not. This is an experience you pay for, but you get your money's worth if you're going on a Cunard ship. You're talking 5-star cruise line. You're talking the buffet. You go to the buffet restaurant for lunch or breakfast or lunch or dinner. The selections are fantastic. They're absolutely top notch. I tell you, for Jen and I, we were on that ship, the Queen Mary 2, for 29 days. 29 days. We went to one restaurant for one meal, the main dining room, the first night. was the only time we went. And interestingly, Jennifer wanted a glass of wine because she was in the nice restaurant, and I wanted a Coke, a Diet Coke, which I got, and we had to charge that to our room, and that would run us $15. Had we done dinner every night, it would have guaranteed been $15 a night in extra charges. But because we went to the buffet, we did the buffet for breakfast every day. We did the buffet for lunch. And sometimes we skipped lunch and waited until afternoon tea. And instead of going to the main afternoon tea ballroom room that they do it in, which you can't get a seat in because it's packed, we did the afternoon tea in the buffet area. Because what they don't tell you, or what you might not realize, is the food in the buffet is top notch. And they had the finger sandwiches and all the desserts, the puffed filled pastries. Oh my God, they had good food there. But you take as many as you want, help yourself. And then they have the coffee station and the tea station and the juices. So I would always get like an apple juice, or I would get a coffee. Jen would get a tea. But the seating area for the King's Buffet was fantastic. Sea views. Almost every seat had a sea view. It was spectacular. It was really well laid out. And it wasn't like the buffet nightmares that you folks have been noticing on YouTube channels. These nightmares where people are in line 10 minutes to get their bacon in the morning, bacon and a sausage, then 5 minutes to get their eggs. And then they had to go to, to get their bread and toast, and then to get a coffee. And by the time you've got it to your table, everything is cold. We didn't have that problem. In the buffet for us, they had the food stations where you just help yourself. The plates were so hot. The plates are so hot. You had to take a paper napkin beside the plate thing. You took a paper napkin and then you folded that over the corner of your plate because that's how warm the plate was. So now when you put some scrambled eggs on there, or a fried egg, or a little omelet that they had pre-made, or you could grab a hard-boiled egg if you like, or two. The bacon and any like English bacon or North American bacon, whatever you want, any other sides that you want. The warm food stayed warm. Now, if you were to go over to the sushi area or into the fruit section, of course, I'm getting muesli, which is cold, so I have that in a bowl, which is a cold room temperature bowl. And the fruits, the fresh fruits over there, you use a bowl for that. So the hot plate is for the hot food. The bowls are for the cool food. And you take that to your table, and now you want a coffee. When you get to your table at the buffet at the King's Court on board the Queen Mary 2, your table has rolled up in a cloth napkin your fork, knife, and spoon. And you lay the napkin over your waist. And on the table are also a coffee cup and a dish. Turn your cup over, and here comes the guys and the gals in their uniforms, their Cunard uniforms, with hot coffee, decaf, regular tea. What would you like? And they are pouring your coffee for you while you're sitting there. You don't even have to go to the coffee station. This is the extra level I'm talking about. There is staff on board this ship for the buffet area, where the minute you finish your bowl of muesli and you put the bowl off to the side, someone is coming to take it away. It is truly a machine. And I'm looking, after 29 days, you kind of get used to the lay of the land. You're looking at the folks who take the dishes away. You're looking at the folks that are cleaning the tables for the next setting. You're looking at the folks that are coffee runners, and you're watching your supervisors, and they're the ones in suits and ties, observing and on top of the staff. And it's constant movement. These folks are constantly coming and going. Dirty dishes are being taken away. Clean dishes are coming out of the dishwasher center on carts, and they're rolling those back out there to replenish the cups at the coffee station, the glasses at the juice station, and the dishes in the buffet area. It's a machine. Of course, we're dealing with a maximum of 3,600 people. When we came across the Atlantic, it was pretty pretty occupied, both directions, and yet didn't feel crowded at all. Well run, well laid out, and really good quality eating, good quality food in the buffet. There were no fish sticks, there were no chicken fingers. I'm talking 29 days on a cruise ship. 29 days I was on this ship. No chicken fingers, no fish fingers, no French fries. Maybe every third day you could find French fries. It was available. Pizza station, no pizza station in the buffet. No fried chicken. We're talking all the cheap food that you would find on these other cruise lines that they're trying to get you to eat instead of the good stuff. No, I'm finding roast leg of lamb where they're carving that. Sirloin. They had sirloin at least every fourth day. Ribs. They had ribs about every fourth or fifth day. All you take all you want. Help yourself. Ham. They had grilled chicken breast, which might be, with a sauce and like a prepared, not like a breaded chicken thing. Nothing like that. No Denny's food. Nothing like Denny's. Potatoes came in all kinds of shapes and sizes. Vegetables, steamed, grilled. The salad bars, fantastic. Phenomenal variety. They had seafood salads, like cold seafood salads, and they had the smoked salmon, the smoked mackerel, the tuna. They had the sushi section. The sushi chefs were just going and going. Take all the sushi you wanted, tuna and salmon. Then the dessert area. Oh my God! Every day different desserts. Like it wasn't the same industrial kind of cake that you see on other cruise lines where, that little piece of chocolate cake is like an inch wide and about 3 inches long, and it looks like it came off a giant pan. They had pieces of cake there. They had pastries everywhere. They had the ice cream machines going with vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. The sauces and the toppings and whatever. Help yourself. It was really 5-star buffet. I would rank it very close to what I used to remember in Las Vegas at the Bellagio. If you've ever been to Bellagio buffet, very close to that. Not quite to that level because the buffet runs you what now? $60 now, $70. I remember when it used to cost $35 20 years ago. But this buffet is of a high caliber, a very high caliber, and I was really not disappointed. Now, having said all of that, I'll go back a couple of steps. When we were coming home from England and France across the Atlantic, we had a couple of rough days where we had 8-meter, 25-foot waves, and the ship can't help but move in that. I could eat breakfast, no problem, but I wouldn't eat a full breakfast. But I would eat breakfast, and I'd be fine. But I wouldn't have lunch. I just wouldn't feel hungry enough yet. But for dinner time, I would get hungry. But I really didn't want to go to the buffet and navigate the moving ship and all that. So I ordered room service. Jen and I ordered in room service. No charge for room service. And I ordered in their burger. They offered a hamburger, a 6-ouncer cheeseburger with bacon on it and fries on the side. And I ordered an apple pie with ice cream as the dessert. 5-star. I have to tell you, I did it twice. I ordered room service in 3 days. I ordered it twice, and I took the burger both times. It was so good. So good, I ate the burger with a fork and knife. It was that good. And on one of the last days, we found there is a section of the buffet at one end of the ship that's separated by tables. And then there's this little mini buffet area where they have other offerings, including hot dogs and burgers, if you wish to order them. And I thought that's interesting because I've been eating 5-star luxury food for all this time, and yet if you really wanted to go back to North America, you missed a burger and fries. They had it, but they had it in a gourmet style. It was very good, not cheap, very good quality. So there you go. If you're ever on Cunard, I don't think you'll be disappointed in the food. Not at all. Anyway, there you go. Interesting stuff. Thank you. Sharon, Carmine's is open tonight until 11 o'clock. So they're open on tonight. Shane just did the Perfect Day in Coco Key last week. I'm stoked for Perfect Day in Mexico. If it's anything like that, you're going to like it. Shane says with all our Royal Caribbean owned property, it'll be truly all inclusive. You got it. You're nailing it now. I love taking my cameras onto land, so I wouldn't mind the peace of mind of not being targeted by theft. And there you go. Larry Blake, hello everybody. Heading to Bermuda on the breakaway on Sunday. Another thing to think about with Royal Caribbean is that you get to charge everything to your account, onto your ship account. So you're on shore and you want a beer and you want some chicken fingers, charge it to your ship account. You want a burger and fries, you have to pay for it. Great. If you don't, if it's included, great. Same company. Tom Henry, that Royal Caribbean plan does not meet my desire for cruising. I prefer to see the local culture, not a fake amusement park. And there you go. And this, you make a very good point, sir. And I don't argue that one bit. But I do understand. I understand how Royal Caribbean understands it. I do understand where they're coming from. Because their thought is, our ships are not discovery ships of new lands. Our ships are theme parks, floating theme parks already. And now we're going to take you to our on-land-based theme parks. It's just a continuation of the same thing. But that's their style, Tom. But then I would not cruise on those huge ships. Anyway, 2 to 3,500 is my line, 2,000, 3,500. Tom says, interesting that what Grand Cayman is doing with overnight casino rules to attract more visits. Interesting. I haven't heard that. I'll have to check that out. It was for Jen and I, the Cunard experience. We definitely had two separate kinds. We had the transatlantic each way, and then we had the British Isle cruise, and that one was completely different than the transatlantic, because on that one you have 12 nights, and we only had 3 sea days. We had 9 days of stops, and that was okay. We knew that going in, and we're quite happy about it. The trick, of course, is if you're going to take a Scottish Isle cruise around the UK, you have to play the lottery game called "What's the weather going to be like?" And yes, it's true that we were on the ship from August, August 23rd, 20 to 30. Well, yeah, August 30th, we got to Southampton. And we got off the ship September the 11th in Southampton. So we were in the Scottish Isles in the first 10 days of September. That's still really summer. And it was summer. It was green everywhere. The grass is green. The hedges are green. The leaves are on the trees, all green. Beautiful, really beautiful. But we ran into that rainy kind of weather where it was foggy and miserable looking for a day or two at a time. And so you had to tolerate that on this journey. There's no way around it. Now, if you're on land and you're taking a train ride up to Scotland, and then you're going to rent a car maybe for 4 or 5 days, you're also taking the same chances that it's going to rain in Edinburgh, or it's going to rain up in the northern part of Scotland, or over in Glasgow or Greenock or wherever. I mean, you got to take that gamble at that time of the year. But I got to tell you, even with unsettled rainy weather, gorgeous, just gorgeous, spectacular photo opportunities. The sunsets are really amazing in some of these shots, some of these spots. If you watched any of my videos that I've made about the Cunard cruise, the fantastic photography opportunities are just wonderful. But gotta say, there were 2 stops in particular where Jen and I would not get off the ship. First of all, we didn't have a tour booked, And second of all, we knew that if we just get off the ship, we're just going to get rained on. It's just no point at all. And with Jennifer having 2 new hips, I just wasn't interested in taking a chance that on a cobblestoned street in a quaint, charming village, that she would slip and fall on one of her new hips. We didn't want to play that game. So it was all right. But you know what? The ship was the star of the show. And so really we just didn't feel like we were losing in this game. But I do understand for those folks who are going over to Scotland to see their heritage for their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, it's all or nothing. You're getting off the ship no matter what. Hurricane, don't care. Getting off the ship and like looking at gravestones, or going to a small town on a tour bus to see where my great-grandparents came from. I get it. I get it. Quite all right. But for Jen and I, it was not that kind of a trip. Although Jennifer has said she would like to go back to Scotland, and she would very much like to take a train up towards Edinburgh, Glasgow, and she would like for us to rent a car and then take 10 days to just drive without a plan. Just go. She would very much like that. She's also interested in the possibility of being on one of these bus tours where for a week you let the bus driver drive. You're in a different hotel every night. You have dinner every night at the hotel, and you get the tour the next day of the area. And you might be 2 nights this town, and then you're driving to another place 1 or 2 nights there, and you drive, and the bags are handled for you and all that stuff. She might be interested in something like that. So that might be in our future, because we're turning 70 this year, this coming year. So we're in that age group now. Wouldn't have thought of this in our 30s. Never considered it. Anyway, there you go. Thank you. Hello, everybody from Larry Blake, heading to Bahamas. Thank you. Again, thank you. Let's go here. My kid, Sharon says, my kid at age 9 observed that ships are very good at separating you from your money without making you pick up your wallet. It's very interesting how they do that. Tom Henry, I'm excited to cruise on the Oceania Allura next November. 1,250 maximum passenger capacity and lobster available at no added charge. Well, it's built into the cruise, but fantastic, my friend. That sounds like a great cruise. Tom Henry, laughing out loud, Sharon, you have a smart kid. He knows. This kid has figured this out at a young age. Yeah, I got to say, we didn't go to the steakhouse. We didn't go to any specialty restaurants. The only time we went to another place was actually the restaurant, was the pub. We went to the pub one time on board the cruise ship, and Jen had fish and chips, and I ordered the plowman sandwich? Is that what they call it, the plowman? I didn't like it. But just not my style. But the beer was fine. I had a beer. Jen enjoyed her fish and chips, and that was fun. But the buffet did not disappoint. It just didn't disappoint at all. Yes, if you're going to go on a 6-star cruise line, you're going to go on Oceania, you're going to go on Seabourn, you're going to go on Ritz-Carlton's cruise line, or Ponant. Are you going to go one of those? It's all inclusive, and it's the best of the best. But you're not getting on there for $100 a night or $150 a night per person. Yeah, that's not in the cards. You're now talking $300 to $500 to $600 a night, depending whether it's a repositioning or not. But there likely will not be tips required. There will likely be most alcoholic drinks included, although, yeah, pretty on the higher end. There's no. It's all inclusive. You get it all. Unless you're ordering the $1,000 bottle of champagne, well, then you're going to pay for that. But on the higher end lines, all your meals are included. Everything is inclusive, but you paid for it up front. But hey, nothing wrong with that. I would love to go on a Viking ship. I have not heard a bad word about any Viking cruise line ship ever. So I would love to be on one of those. I think that for Jen and I, the days of us considering going on a Norwegian cruise ship are over. Too many cutbacks, too many complaints, too many problems. I just heard just a week or so ago that the cruise line. This is in the last few weeks. The CEO and officials from Norwegian were meeting with the Wall Street crowd, and they were talking about their latest financials. And Norwegian turned a profit in the last quarter, and they're now talking about another $300 million of cuts, of which $200 million will be cut from on-board spending by the cruise line. Now, that means one of two things. They either take away something that used to cost them money, like Broadway shows, for example. Broadway shows that they used to put on, that cost the cruise line a lot of money. They take those out and replace them with magicians and jugglers and singers that sing to a recording. Much cheaper to enter that kind of, put that entertainment on. For the passengers, not so great. If they cut back how many room stewards there are, which they've done, they cut back how many times your room is serviced, which they've done. They cut back on maintenance, on like painting the ship or carpet repair or whatever. I mean, the ships are going to start to look not so good. This has to come from somewhere. The only other way to cut spending or to nullify 200 million, to charge more. Do you charge $1 a passenger more for a tip charge? Well, right now, Norwegian is charging, what, $20 a night per person for the standard room. They're the highest charging cruise line for tipping. Drinks, 20% tip. What are you going to do, 22%? How's this going to go? You're going to add $1 a drink to your drink prices? I mean, there's a point where it doesn't work anymore because you're not a 5-star cruise line. You're a 4-star cruise line. And if you're going to cut in all kinds of places, you're a 3.5-star cruise line. And now you're down to the Carnival level. You're down to the Carnival level, and you're going to have to cut your prices because you're not going to get top dollar from travelers for a substandard product. The word will get out that it won't fly. But hey, we have to wait and see how this plays itself out. For Jen and I in the future, I don't see us taking a cruise on Costa Cruises. I don't see us taking a cruise on Norwegian necessarily. I don't see us taking a discount cruise line cruise. I see us spending primo money to get on a premium line. We're being pushed. We're pushing ourselves in that direction. It's not that the cruise lines are making us do it. It's that now, at this time in our lives, and with the success of my other channel, without question, Stock Markets with Bruce channel is the bill payer. We can afford to go on a higher brand cruise line, and I'm not interested in cruising on a cheap cruise. I'm not looking for that. I would rather be on a cruise line where there are no children. And it's not that I hate kids. I don't hate children. I just don't want to sail with them. I just don't want to be in a cruise ship with a bunch of kids. Cunard ship we were just on, the Scottish Isle cruise had the most children, and there might have been 30 of them. Because I can tell you, on a Cunard ship, kids are bored. On the Queen Mary 2, I pity the kids because there's nothing really for them to do. There's no water slides. There is no rock climbing wall. There's no bumper cars. No. It's an adult cruise. It's an adult-oriented cruise line. Just saying. And so for me, Viking would be the way to go. Cruise lines that have an 18 and older threshold, for me, that would be the place to go. But I'm not looking for a party ship either. Jen and I are not looking to dance the night away. So, we're of a different ilk than we would have been 15 years ago. It's just changed. Anyway, there you have it. Tom, this sounds exciting. This I'm interested in. I'm very curious about that. Hopefully that works out for you. Yes, the cruise line business has changed a lot since my parents went on them and grandparents went on them. I will say that the Cunard cruises we took, especially the Scottish Isle cruise, that was by far the oldest set of cruisers I've ever been with for average age. The Scottish Island 12-day cruise, Scottish Isle cruise for 12 days. The average age on that ship was 75, and I'm 69. There were 90-plus-year-olds on their last ever cruise holiday, one last time. But they were looked after. My God, did the staff come through for these people? I have to admit, the Cunard people, they know their niche audience, and they're servicing them. And I have to give them high marks. Now, I don't know what it's like on the other ships that Cunard operates, the Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Anne, but on the Queen Mary 2, there was staff ready, willing, and able to help people get in and out of wheelchairs for the entire cruise. I was pleasantly pleased with that. I really was. Anyway, there you go. Paul, I said this during the pandemic, and I'll say it again. Norwegian will eventually be bought up by another cruise line, and MSC is smelling a big fish. Yeah, I wonder, by the time Norwegian is bought out, if this is going to happen, I don't know how far down the line will be run. I really worry that Norwegian will be run down to the quality that might be not even up to Carnival standards. Like, it might be really, beat up cruise line, because I wonder myself how that's going to go. Now, look, all cruise lines have to replace ships eventually. It's just the nature of the beast. Salt water has a way of eating ships alive, and you can maintain them and maintain them and maintain them, but eventually a ship is too old to continue operating. And you have to replace it. Now, in the case of Norwegian, they have replaced a lot of their ships in the last 5 years. A lot of the older ships from the mid to late 90s, they're gone now pretty well, and the early 2000s are now 24 years old. So in 5 years from now, Carnival and the Carnival with all their cruise lines, Norwegian with all their ships, and Royal Caribbean will all be facing the 30-year problem. They're going to have ships that are 30 years of age. And it's true, you can modify them, and in some cases you can have them going until they're into their 35th and 40th year. But eventually you have to do something. And you've got to plan a replacement for a cruise ship about 7 years before the end of a cruise ship's life. So if you know that you have a ship that's 26 years old and it's going to be 33, 34 years, by the time you replace it, you're planning now the replacement of that ship. Now, in the case of Norwegian, and in the case of Carnival, and obviously Royal Caribbean, what have they done? They have brought out mega, massive, giant, huge ships to replace their older ships. And as you remember, you've been here long enough, you know that back in the 80s and the 70s, a ship handling 2,000 people, 2,500 people, those are as big as they got. But we also know that in the last 10 years, we now are used to seeing 4,000 and 5,000 and 6,000 passenger ships coming off the assembly line, replacing the two of the 2,000s or two of the 2,500 passenger ships, or three of the 1,800 to 2,000 ships are being replaced with 1,500, 6,000 passenger ship. And so that's been the way of the world, rather than bring out a bunch of 1,800 to 2,000 passenger replacements. Of course, today, a 1,000 passenger ship coming out, like Norwegian, or the MSC group, they're coming out with their high-end 1,000 passenger cruise ships. These are for 6-star all-inclusive sailings. These are high-end, top dollar, $600 a night and up per passenger ships that make no excuse. They're for adults only. They're looking for high-end, higher-end demographic cruisers, but those cruisers are going to get what they want. No screaming kids, no lineups at any water slides, no rock climbing walls, no screaming over the PA, no belly flop contest. It's going to be sophisticated, first class, elegant, calm sailings for people in their 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s with the money. And that's the way of the world. And that's the demographic. That's the shift of that demographic. Where in the 80s, those very people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, those customers used to go on to a cruise line that would be like the Love Boat for Princess that would hold 1,700 passengers. And it would be one class for the entire ship, but different cabin sizes. But there were no exclusive areas for the high-enders only. You could go anywhere you wanted. But you were paying $4,000 for 1 week in the basic cabin, looking out the porthole. You might be paying $3,000 for an inside room, but you were paying $4,000 for a porthole. There were no balconies in those days. Where today, obviously, inside room, ocean view, balcony, and owner suites, and the high-end exotic clubs like the Yacht Club and the Haven and so on, separating passengers is the new normal. And so things have changed a lot. Cruise lines are trying to survive. Sharon, thank you for the thumbs ups, and everybody, thank you for thumbs ups tonight. We appreciate you being here today. It's been a while since we've seen you. We hope you've had a great summer and you're going to have a great fall. Winter's coming, unfortunately, but that means summertime or wintertime travel. Thank you for the 19 thumbs up so far. And if you're able to hit the thumbs up button for us, we thank you very much. If you're watching on the rerun, hit the thumbs up button as well. Thank you again for being here tonight. It's great to see you all. It's great to just catch up with you over the last 10 past weeks. Great to have you. Keep your eye on the channel. There'll be videos coming out from this trip. And I'll see you here next Monday. We'll be back here 7 o'clock Eastern next Monday night for some live cruise ship news and travel news. And we'll compare notes and see where you folks are headed and what's going on in your lives. Thank you for all your kind words for Jennifer and I. We appreciate you very much. Have a wonderful rest of the week out there. And we'll see you in 7 days. Right back here from Calgary with Traveling with Bruce. Okay, everybody, take good care of yourselves. Thank you, Sharon. Have a great week yourself, and everyone else, enjoy. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.